Hey, it's Hot937, hot937.com, man. Reggae Ride to Work, man. We got a special guest in the studio, man. Stonebwoy.
Yeah. Yes, Papa.
Stonebwoy. Did I say it right? Did I say it right?
It. Perfectly said.
Really?
Stonebwoy.
Yeah, you know what a Jamaican slang with a boy? Yeah. That's the one. That's the one right there.
Welcome to CT, man. How you feeling?
I'm grateful. This is my first time in Connecticut. Not my first time in the States, though.
Say Connecticut again. Say Connecticut.
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 And that's the way.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Connecticut. Connecticut.
I mean, no, say it the way you say
Connecticut.
it. You can say
Yeah, man.
Connecticut.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to Connecticut, man.
CT for short.
CT
There you
for
go.
short, man.
There you go.
How was the trip over here?
Nah, it's been smooth. Almost 2 hours drive. Nice. It's just been chilling in the ride. That's it. I love road trips, so it was a great one for me to see sights.
I'm glad that you did this because a lot of artists, they don't jump on the road trips anymore. They just do everything by Zoom.
I love to do road. Yeah, man. I love to interact with people. I love to connect to different energies, and I think that's what life is about.
Tell me about where you were born from. Tell me about everything about you.
I was born in the ghettos of Ashaiman, one of the biggest cities in the capital of Ghana, which is Accra, and it's like in the heart of Ashaiman I was born, and that's where I grew up. Anybody who was born in Ashaiman, typically, you definitely see it's just like the Bronx.
Would that be like comparison to the projects?
That's what I'm saying. Just like Bronx, for example. That's what I can use as an example.
Right.
And there's a lot of gems in the dark, and I think I'm one of them.
Yeah. just like the hoods in America.
That's what I'm saying. That's how I can describe where I was born. And you see everything. You see rich, you see poor, you see blind, you see crippled, you see hurt, you see love, you see joy, you see pain. It's not confined to a certain kind of uptown lifestyle only.
Yeah.
It's like a mixture of everybody's welcome, different ethnicities, different people from different countries. That's how it is from the whole of Africa.
How did you find your way out? Because there's so much negativity every place. You've seen the worst of the worst. You've seen some of your friends do the wrong things.
Yeah, for real.
How did you manage to get here? Did you make some wrong turns in your life to get here?
You do have to make a wrong turn sometimes, so that by the time you get back up on the road, you know what's over there.
Yeah. So like, okay, I don't want to go back over there.
Exactly. And you'll be grateful because it was not intention. You didn't intend to sometimes to go onto the wrong path to see what's over there. So it's like a blessing in disguise sometimes when stuff like that do come your way. That's how I grew. That's the mentality that I have, because personally, growing up, I've had to experience life's whims, and it got me to actually be a tough teen up until this time. So that's just how my upbringing has been, and I'm grateful. We made some turns. Most of my friends that I grew up with must have gone to jail and back already. Some of them have had to go bail out from jail, And because of my, good behavior and level-headedness, most of the time, yeah. I'm able to get through to some favors that help my people still. So you don't know, we understand what it is, as young as we are.
Now you hear about, how Africa is, and like you said, some of your boys are in jail, and we know how jail is here in the States. In Africa, people think you go to jail there, it's just like totally different. Like you're never gonna be seen again, stuff like that. How is it there when you get in trouble? Because the laws here with the police here,
he don't know if you want to answer.
It's super different.
I respect that. I stand at a point where I'm privileged to see a lot of things. Like people have completely different perceptions when it comes to Africa.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas there in Africa, we see a lot of things via the media, outlets that make us kind of like have an idea about the reality in America and the rest of the world. And that is even, they might not show you everything, but you're closest to the reality more than you up on the North America side or in the Western world are closest to the reality in Africa, to be honest. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, by examples, as a kid, I could speak Patois before I visited Jamaica.
You already knew how to speak Patois.
Exactly. And then, for instance, I'm just saying, some of my friends could pick up the American accent before they even got a visa.
Yeah.
But you can't speak no African, nothing.
Nah.
even if you had the African visa or something.
No, I
you know,
couldn't.
so I'm just trying to use that to establish the fact that we know more than you guys think we do.
Yeah.
You guys watch. You guys pay attention.
You know what I
So
mean?
what is the-
So the prison system over there is literally as institutionalized as it is over here because I think the modern prison systems are based off of the colonial systems that enslaved us, that put us in chains and whatever.
Yeah.
So you can actually understand what is happening over there the same way. There are
The same way
different
as here.
governments, different rulerships inside of the prison. People who are like gang leaders, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me,
So
I think it's the same
that's
thing.
how it is here, too.
It's the same thing. You don't want to go to prison. That's just what it
That's
is.
just
You don't
what
want
that
to
is.
Literally, whether in Africa and even so in Africa, I can say that your rights as a human is even more diminished up there in the prison more than here in the States. You know, as much as here I see a lot of people convicted wrongly, you know, it goes on down there as well at home, you know, but I think, you know, speaking about prisons, the differences will be that over here, there's the number of prisoners amongst the black people is the highest, you know, and we all see the stories, the different things that make it happen. So to keep that institution running, so, you know, so on and so forth.
So what is the biggest misconception about Africa?
The what?
The biggest misconception.
Yo, the biggest misconception is that we're continuously trying to refuse the fact that it is the Alkibu land, which is the home of mankind. That's the original name of Africa that I didn't name. That was named by the Nubians, the Moors. So it's important for the world to receive it as such.
Do you feel that the world is not receiving that and not?
I mean, if you haven't come to the conclusion to receive it as that, then you're the one lacking. It's not Africa.
Yeah.
You know, so gradually you would have to want to understand it that way so that it helps you with the truth.
You have to do your research.
Exactly.
We got Stonebwoy in the studio with us right now. 7 brothers and sisters. You're number 4. You got a big family.
Yeah, man. Big
You know,
family, big family.
what else how do your brothers and sisters feel about you? When you're doing what you're doing, what are their thoughts about their? I can't say big brother, little brother, but their
I mean,
brother.
I've got one
The
little
middle
brother.
child.
Yeah, one little brother, and I got big sisters up there, so it's all women. And today's International Women's Day, and I can't be grateful enough for women. Jesus Christ.
You love the women.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Stonebwoy.
Bro. It's really very important to acknowledge the power, the place of women. And, you know, that's how you're going to know peace.
Not only
That's how you're going to...
Stonebwoy, not only do they have the whole month, they have a special day today too. Within the month.
So the other time I was asking, like, okay, so what is the man's month? What month? And then we went on Google, and then I think we saw something like June.
Yeah, Father's
I'm
Day.
gonna tell you right now. Someone
let's check
sent
it
me
out.
it.
Man, it's Father's Day. They don't really acknowledge that
we
too
saw
much.
something like June. I'm not trying to argue this.
No, we don't want to step into that. Salute to
But
all
I
the
believe
ladies.
every day for the woman. The thing is, if we acknowledge that every day is for the woman, then the woman must also acknowledge that every day is for us too.
I'm with you on that.
I like that.
I don't know if we're going to win it. I don't know if we're going to
got
win
a
it.
point there. I'm with you.
I'm with you.
But what I think the first step is acknowledging us to the woman, and then we leave the rest to them to decide. You know, most often, even when they're wrong, you know they're wrong, but they
They
don't want
wrong,
to admit it. So it's
Stonebwoy.
okay.
Exactly.
We know the way they do it.
These ladies can have
You know?
attitude sometimes,
Yeah,
Stonebwoy.
I know the women respect the men too, where we come from, and I generally, you know, to be honest. But like you said, my sisters are super proud of who their brother is because they really saw this coming from when I was a kid. Because I would be jumping up about doing the music thing, entertaining people, making people like when I come into the room, everybody has to chin up until I leave, and you know that's the kind of energy that I embody. And I've never really stopped till today.
You said you didn't choose music. Music chose you. Why do you say that?
Absolutely. I couldn't choose music because a lot of my friends and people that I know have chosen music and couldn't hold it together. But when music chooses you, there's a possibility that you'll find a way because it chose you. And music is spiritual. To me, it's very spiritual that translates into the physical because we're dealing with vibrations and energies and waves. You know, even as we record music, we record them in waves. It's fascinating to know that wave hits you and the things that you speak is just recorded in a certain, you know, velocity and all them ones. And so if I choose music, yes, I could love it. I could choose it as much as it's inside of me and I want to do it. But the reality is that it chose me. Because from the times that I would be exhibiting musical traits, I wouldn't be fully aware of myself from as a kid. Because I've seen my son. I could play you a video of my son. You guys would be like, what's he doing? I get calls from school that this guy is performing to the whole class every day. He doesn't want to sit down.
How old is he?
But he's only 4. But he looks like a 6. But I can tell you that he's not fully aware of himself. That is how you know music's chosen him.
Yeah.
So by the time he gets to be aware of himself, then he can choose whether to continue or not.
At what age did you become aware of yourself? Did you realize this is for me? I belong on stage. People need to hear what I have to say.
I think I was in junior high school. I don't know how you guys term it over here.
Junior high school?
Yeah. That was when once upon a time, I remember this like yesterday. I thought like, okay, so apart from all these vision of getting out of school, going to university, like I could actually, I don't know how, but I could think long term like that. Then I'm like, yeah, I could do it. I could do it. So then I decided to even choose what it is that I could do if I had to. That's how come I started drawing closer to reggae and dancehall music, because I felt like, no, I love the energy, I love the vibe, and it's something that I could spend time to want to know and learn, and it's going to open my mind to a whole new different something. And what really pushed me to that was the fact that this is a Caribbean something that has our fellow, black people doing it. So it gives me a lot of interest to want to know. So that took you back into history and learning and reading, and you realize that, that's where my passion is, and I want to actually study to, champion myself in that side. So it was somewhere in junior high school 2, that I really felt this. I will still I have pictures of me in grade 6, in grade 5, performing to the whole school. I was the first kid to perform in front of the whole school because I wanted to tell the headmaster that I want to do that. And they allowed me because my grades were good at the same time anyway. So they'd be like, okay, we could try you. So I wrote a play that I acted out with my class, and I did a musical performance as well. So it's been inside of me from early. Like my daughter can literally rap at the age of 5.
Yeah. So it's not just music, acting and everything, just the arts.
Just the arts.
The arts for you.
I think I am grateful to get in a complete package because I'm so hands-on. Like from a visuals director, like sometimes he sends me a picture, and by the time it's posted, I edit and it's like, yo. I'm like, bro, I just love it. So I'm like hands-on in every aspect of art, because I think art is life and God is an artist.
Now,
first.
You've been successful over there. You've performed in front of thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah.
Now you're over here.
Yeah.
Coming from that side, when you think about being successful in America, and you're signed to Def Jam, one of the biggest record labels, one of the most legendary labels. How does it feel to be from where you are and looking on this side and say, wow, I'm here now?
God bless you for this question. Like, this is what has been resonating into my spirit from 3 days ago. We've been talking about it when we were in the car, because I'm a realist person, and I really appreciate natural occurrences. I really appreciate energies and thoughts. I was a kid who put in videos or go find performances of legendary acts, watching Hot 97 Summer Jam.
Right.
All them one day, watching Reggae Sumfest, Rebel Salute. All these festivals are like 30 years plus. And I'm only early in my 30s, so and realizing that I've been able to perform on all those platforms that I used to watch.
That you used to watch,
it's like,
yeah.
And I'm like the first Ghanaian to do most of that. I just performed at the World Cup too, in front of 50,000 people at the World Cup. Like, I closed it. And something happened at the World Cup that was like beyond my imagination. But I understand that music chose me, so it doesn't really surprise me that much. So I just feed back the energy into that source that I know that chose me, so that I can complete my mission whilst I'm here. Like the Tupacs, basically. Like the Kanyes, you know what I mean? Like, it's music for me.
Yeah.
Everything else is going on, business, etc., philanthropism, etc., family. But yeah, this is how I feel. And knowing that I've come this far, being the first artist from Ghana to be signed on to Def Jam, it's like, how many more first things are there to happen again? being the first reggae dancer artist from Africa to win the BETs in 2015, as early as that, like, I done Nickelodeon Kiss Choice up here in the States. Like, there are things that are on my shoulder. There are some great marks that I've done. Some I can't even remember right now to even tell you. But currently, it's a blessing. And this is the first album, I think one of the first international albums that Def Jam is going to release, especially from a Ghanaian. And the styles is like Afro dance or reggae.
And you forgot to say the first time in Connecticut too. The first.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, okay. You can put that on. You can put that on the list too.
Yeah,
so how was that feeling, man, when you realized that your music was just bigger than Africa, just bigger than Ghana, that the states were accepting it and just accepting Afrobeat itself, African music itself, like it was worldwide, like everybody starting to feel what you felt a long time ago.
Exactly. It's beautiful and it's fulfilling to know that we're here now, where I can be in a sitting like this. You know what I mean? But it's only right because we have had our predecessors putting in sweat, blood, and tears from different aspects to have the arts be able to get to this point. Because it has had to go through some political sphere as well to have the arts from Africa get to this point same way. Yeah. So I do not necessarily detach it from the struggles that have been from years ago. I also attach it to the struggles of, those who have propelled the black energy across the globe, especially in the Americas, to get it over here. Talking about even taking it from, that's why I said black, from the reggae music that has been beating the door from a different perspective. Yeah. Because you find the Africanness in the reggae as well. You can't take it out. No matter the percentage of the Africanness there be in reggae has also played a role. Then to dancehall, then today to Afrobeat. So if you connect the dots this way, you can understand the full scope of where we're going as a sound, a culture, and a people.
Your album is going to consist of what?
The same thing.
Everything you just talked about.
Exactly.
Bits and pieces of everything.
Exactly.
The new single was crazy right now. It's a good song on the radio now.
Yeah.
If there was something you want your kids to get out of looking at you, what would it be? What would you want your kids to say about my dad is what?
Yeah, my dad is a hardcore. My dad is a rebel for a cause. Yes, that's what I want my son and my daughter to know, and they know it. My daughter looks at me and says, Stonebwoy. That girl, she decides to relate to me as Stonebwoy and as father when she chooses. And as a child that she is, knowing that she's not fully aware of the physical, but must be fully aware of whatever it is in the realms that is controlling her spirit, I pay attention to her.
Now, her having that talent, both of your kids having that talent at the young age, is Stonebwoy letting them get into this business?
I will. I would so much let them get into the business, 100%, if they choose to. They're chosen right now, but they don't fully know. So when they choose to...
It's choosing them right now.
Yes,
when they choose it.
That's what I'm saying. They're chosen. There's no two ways about it. They're chosen. And then by the time they choose it, fine. Then I'll know. But I can't force them to choose it. Because when you do, then you put in the work, you put in the ethics, you put in everything to fine-tune it, like I did. So, but when I see them as talented as they are, then it reminds me of what I probably, was as a child as well. Because I remember my mom, may so rest in peace, would always tell me about how they used to call me by an artist name when I was a child. Like, anytime I heard that song, I was going to bust onto the dance floor. I didn't care who was watching.
Right away.
And my son does the same thing. He even tells us, why are you laughing? Don't laugh. Gets back on the floor.
Just go. Stonebwoy, in Ghana, growing up on your phone, on your iPhone, whatever, you had artists like Trey Songz, Beanie Man, Cranium. You would listen to us all the time.
Exactly.
And now, fast forward, you're doing songs with these guys.
That's what it is.
How's that feel? Are you intimidated, or are you confident enough to go in there and say, I don't care who I'm in the studio right now, I am Stonebwoy?
Yeah, man, I'm confident enough to respect the powers that they behold, and confident enough to submit my quota of what has to be given musically. So that's just how I step into the room with everybody, from Buju to Beanie to Sizzla to Kimpton to Sean Ward, to Anthony Rebel to to the big names in reggae and
Big
dancehall.
names.
That's how I just step in, very humble and very inspired, but well acknowledging and confident to know what I'm bringing to the table. I'm bringing the Afro dancehall to the table. Seeing?
Is that now the Afro dancehall? Is that something Stonebwoy?
That's Stonebwoy.
That's
That's how I can describe my sound. So that's like Afro beats and then dancehall merging together. Reggae is on its own. I do reggae too. I've got reggae hits with Morgan Heritage, with Sizzla, with Calibot, I stand to be the most featured or work with Jamaican artists. 44 songs, 44 artist features from Jamaica alone.
Yeah.
Including the top names.
So you're gonna give them some of that pure dancehall on the project too?
It's on there. It's on there. Big one with Shaggy and Dexter.
Ooh.
Now, what did you do before Stonebwoy was doing music? Well, in junior high school, did you play any sports?
I used to play active sport, football. I love the high jumps, and I love to to do the athlete as well. But along the way I had an accident when I was in junior high school 3, and it messed up with my knee, so I miss all the sports though. But when I get the time to juggle anything, somebody be like, "Ooh, yeah."
Stonebwoy. When was the last real job you had, Stonebwoy? The real job. We all had real jobs. I worked in a grocery store before. I did. What did you do as a job before?
I was selling for my mom as a kid, so I never did no employed. I never got employed. Music employed me from when I was like a kid till now. All I did was to support my mom. She was a big trader. She traded in commodities. Yeah, like food stuff. Commodities.
So you never had no paper route. You never worked in a grocery store. You never did nothing. He's been spoiled his whole life, man. Music chose him.
He had it good, man. I ain't mad at it. I'm definitely not mad at it. So now, so Afrobeat, huge.
I'm not on nobody's paycheck, bro. I have to hustle my way out.
All right,
but I'll pay people still.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with being the boss. So now with Afrobeat being so big and you're a part of it, what do you feel like your responsibility is to keep it moving forward?
Yes, thank you very much. My responsibility is to actually be well informed about the whole process and the progress of it, so that we don't only enjoy it as a musical style that is being pushed to this point, but we have to realize that there is always a back end to where we are now, which is the teams, the sacrifices, the finances, the strategists, the marketing, that is going on behind the Afrobeat situation to get it to this point, just like how it's been behind the reggae and the dancehall also. So I think those are the things that I, as an owner of my own label, does keep eye on. And as a creative, I also know that this is more of a mission-mindedness, for the culture, for the people, more than just a style or a name that has gotten to this point so far. So when you know all these things, when you're informed and educated, then you understand the importance of being a part of the narrative also. Because if we don't keep the music that represents our culture going, could be the R&Bs, could be the reggae, could be the dancehall, could be the Afrobeats, any musical genre that historically has its roots from the blackness of mankind. If we don't continue it intentionally, give us another 200 years, there's not going to be none of that.
Yeah. Yes, I get what you're saying, and that's tough because when you have successful music, that pop world is coming.
Exactly.
Everybody want to be a part of what's hot. So you're going to have those pop artists that want to do songs with the Afrobeat artists.
It's happening already.
It's
been happening.
Yeah. So now, and to do that, now you're saying to keep it pure with the black music, with the black people, it's tough. You know why? Because that pop side is a different dollar. It's a different type of money over there.
I mean, what I was saying is that, like you said, what do we do to keep it running? And I'm saying we need to be knowledgeable about all these facts, you know what I mean? Behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, and representing for the culture, like across boards. That's what I really meant. The pop side coming in is so beautiful because it has to, in the end, realistically, that side is a different dollar, and it does control the institutions that make things happen. Right now, they've led us into the door you know, in couple areas in certain places. That's why we are actually on mainstreams and we are dealing with stuff. You know what I mean? So it's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that. You just have to know how to strategize the stuff and then continue to be aware of all these indices that make it run.
Yeah.
Else we're not going to be here at all, you know. And I think we've done a very great job, even from the consumers, because Afrobeat must have gone into this point, and one of the stories behind it is that, guess what? People from the continent who live abroad, not only in America, goes into a club and says, DJ, have you heard that song? You know what, I've got a favorite song I want you to play from. That's one of the processes that made it possible today. So they push the song there and they try to grease up the DJ and the DJ beats it. So there have been an intention to keep it
It's
going.
working, and it's
so
working.
there's been work.
It's been working.
Yeah, man.
Stonebwoy, thank you for coming in. We appreciate you
very
coming
much.
in, man.
Thank you.
I can't wait for you to come back and get on the stage. I want to see you perform for
Yeah,
the people.
man, for real. I wouldn't mind at all. Yeah.
Seemed like there'd be a lot of energy.
Yo, Stonebwoy, you know.
Before we let you go, tell me about BHIM, Bless His Imperial Majesty. Tell me about that.
Bim, 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 bim. Them a talk about one love, but them never reach like that. Money, but they never reach like that. Funny, them can't see our back. We now make a move where we no see contract. So me and them never get a eye contact. So them a leader, but them a lead from back. Voila, test boy get a come back. To me say test boy better come back. And anyway them see mankind, them do one kind. I mean do like say me never know. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, at 93. So now for them a snake on the grass, them be full bad mind, but we do like say we never know. Oh, we
Okay.
How we there from Gidigba, we there from Gidigba. Gidigba, we there from Gidigba. And Gidigba, we there from Gidigba. Believe in yourself, no go from minimal. Gidigba, we there from Gidigba. Gidigba, we dey from Gidigba. Hey, Gidigba, we dey from at 93.7. Hear that party up. Hey, coulda never be a minimalist. And me say one pan the list and me take a winner. The that's the list and them no say man like how we junglist. Give them a one God song man a evangelist. Fire, burn them like a fireman. Me no see no other youth way better than how we are run that turf ya. Jagaban, how we are run things bow ya. I me say anyway them see mankind, them do one kind, I me do like seminar. Oh, we at 93.7, I know sir.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
Classic.
Sir,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Give thanks.
You have to come back and hit this stage for us, man.
Yeah, we
I
are
look
going up the
forward to
stage
it.
anytime, any day.
Stonebwoy.
So when you hear beam, it's a sound that wakens the spirit, the soul, the mind. And it's spelled BHIM. Say, bless His Imperial Majesty, because God Almighty, the source of it all, is why I give all the thanks and the glory. So that's why when you hear beam, 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 you know, say, I want God's Stonebwoy. Bless His Imperial Majesty. God, no.
John 937. That's good shit.